Hi, welcome to another episode of Artcast. I'm Ellen Kais. I'm the Executive Director here at the Gateway Arts Council. We thought we'd do something just a little bit different today. Take a break from all of our wonderful interviews. We'll be back at them next week. But it's springtime, and when springtime comes, you do a little housekeeping and cleaning. So we're going to do a little house cleaning and keeping here at the Arts Council. And what I mean by that is we're going to go over some of our events that are coming up. And for those that we've had to reschedule, how that's going to go about. And then I'm going to call in Seth, because one of the things we are adding is a lot of technology to this so that we can reach you guys. And he's going to explain that. So I'm going to start with our first event up, and that is our Spring Fling. And for those of you who don't know, Spring Fling is our jury art exhibit. And we generally have 40 to 50, sometimes as many as 80 different artists that bring their work here. And we have a juried exhibit. We have 6 different categories: watercolor, oil, and acrylic. It's a really neat time. But we still aren't able to have that physically. So this year, instead of saying no Spring Fling, we're going to do it virtually. And what that means is that on our Facebook page, we will have a link that you can click on, and you'll actually just see it, and it will take you to our Padlet page. And on that page, you will see every piece that's entered in the Spring Fling. And I'm pretty excited about this. It is not the same as being with everybody. I wish we could. I miss it terribly. This is one of my most favorite events here. But at least we can do it virtually. At least you can see some of this beautiful work that these artists are producing. And get it out there. Maybe it'll make your life a little happier that day, or inspire you to paint a little more or do some art. And it gives these artists an opportunity to show what they are doing. So that will happen. April 16th is when everything will go live. We are going to have a live awards ceremony on Facebook, so that at least we get a little bit of the taste of the fun of announcing the awards. There will be a best of show. There'll be a first, second, and third place in each of the 6 categories, as long as those categories have at least 5 artists in them. We can't award if a category doesn't have 5 artists, but we will keep the pictures up. Those will always be there for you to see. So that is Spring Fling. We're looking forward to it. When Seth comes in a little bit, he'll explain a little more of all the avenues that we're going to use to reach out with Spring Fling. So we are hoping that while we're not physically present, at least being virtual, maybe a whole lot more people will be able to see this really special show, and we can share it a little further than we normally would be able to. Our second event coming up is Princess Ball. And this again is a great one that we do. It's our father-daughter dance. It's a prom for fathers and daughters. And I know the first thing someone's going to ask me is, what if you don't have a father? Well, father figure, we also allow mothers to bring the children, because we know that everybody's family looks a little bit different, and we're okay with that. We just want these girls to have a prom night. They're normally between the ages of 2 and I would say 12, but we've had them a little older and we've had them a little younger. This year, however, we have to limit the amount of tickets that we do for the in-person part, which brings me to the next thing I'm going to explain. With Princess Ball, it's held at Lehman High School here in Sidney. And normally it's a huge, wonderful event. We have everybody from all walks of life. We have them in jeans, we have them in tuxes, it's just a really fun event. This year we'll be back at Lehman for the in-person option. There will be an in-person option and a virtual option. And the in-person option, the tickets again will be limited. They will be $10 for a father and a daughter, and $15 for a dad and multiple daughters. We will have the dance, we will have pictures, we will have our raffle with the American Girl doll, and we will have our 50-50. We won't have our cookies and punch. We just can't do that yet, and we can't do our activities. We might be able to have one activity, but what we're going to do instead of face painting is we're going to have some little temporary tattoos for the girls to put on, and we'll put them in the bag that they receive when they come. And we'll try to do as much as we normally would have done, only some of it will just have to be in the bag that they can take home. Our art project will be in there. The beads will be in there that we always give. So we're trying to make it as much like normal as we possibly can. The virtual option is kind of neat. And if people can't get a ticket or they're still not comfortable, and that's okay. If you're not comfortable yet doing in person, we have a virtual option. And what that means is that we have a bag and we'll give to the girls. So when you purchase your ticket, you'd say, I have 3 daughters or I have 1 daughter. And we will make up this bag, and in the bag will be some little things you can help decorate with. We'll have a playlist, so you have the music picked out. We'll have the beads, we'll have the art project, and we'll have a little flower so that there's even a little corsage. Now, in the bag, we also have coupons, and we have a couple of people who've been wonderful to do this for us. Mojitos here in Sidney is going to provide us a coupon for 1 meal, get the second one half off. And that's so the dad and the daughters, or the dad and the daughter, can go out to dinner at any time. Traditionally, it's been that night. If that's what you want to do, that would be fine. K&J Ice Cream is going to give us a coupon for buy one, get one free. So you have dinner, dessert, and a dance. So that's all pretty cool. If you are one of those who's going to do the in-person option, we will have a way for you to download that off of the internet, so that you can then use that coupon ahead of when you come to the dance, or any time that you would choose to do that. So that's our Princess Ball. That will be June the 18th. And what's kind of special about that is that's the Friday before Father's Day. And I can't think of a more special time for a dad or a mom or a grandfather or an uncle, and we've even had brothers, to spend time with their the young ladies in their life. So that is Princess Ball. The next thing I want to talk about is Fall Festival. This is a new event for us. We're pretty excited about it. We had it this close to happening last year, and we just couldn't do it. So September the 25th at Crossway Farms, we're going to have a good old-fashioned fall festival. And when I say that, I mean we want it to be family. We want it to be simple, fun activities. We're going to have pumpkin bowling, and we're going to have pumpkin smash, and we're going to have a little square dance, and we're going to have all the amenities of Crossway Farms will be available to us. The kids area, you pick sunflowers, or you pick pumpkins, and you can go through Crossway and get your little pumpkins, and we can do some pumpkin painting. And we're going to have, those are just a little hint of what we're going to do there. That's September the 25th out at Crossway Farms. And again, we'll have more information on our Facebook page, and we'll have it on our website. So you'll be able to find this information. We just wanted to do a little update today. We're having a lot of people call, and rightfully so. And it's kind of a interesting time right now. We're not closed and we're not totally open. So we're trying to bridge this gap between fully open and fully closed. And we're trying to do it in as safest manner as possible. For instance, until further notice at all of these events, we do ask that you wear a mask if you are over the age of 4. And that's just added protection. It makes it easier to do these events, and it makes it safer for everybody else. And maybe before any of these events, they'll come out and say all that's done, and then we won't have to talk about this anymore. I'm waiting for that day. But until then, this is how we're going to have to do these things. The next one we have coming up that we definitely are doing is Bad Art by Good People. And this is a really neat event for us. We get generally around 24 people, and we're going to try to do as many as we normally do. Last year we did it halfway. We could only have 12 artists. This year we're going to do 24, and it's people who've never done art before. We pair them up with a professional artist, and we ask them to do a piece of art. Then we auction it off, but we don't auction it off before they have to go out and get votes. And the one with the most votes for theirs gets to be the best bad artist that year. And they get the most unique trophy for that, because after all, it is bad art. And the proceeds come to the Gateway Arts Council. It's a fundraiser for us. And we pair up with a nonprofit in the area. It's going to be I can't tell you exactly who, but I can tell you it's going to be a very special year this year. We're really looking forward to it. That always happens the first Thursday, the ball. And I guess I didn't explain that real well, but let me explain it. After they get a vote, we have this big bad art ball. And we don't actually dance this, and I know, why is it called ball if you don't dance? Well, it's because it sounded good, to be honest. And it's a neat place for us to gather together. The stories about why people made the artwork they do, they tell them that night, and then we auction off the works. And again, all these proceeds go between the Arts Council, and the way we have done it, because it used to be solely our fundraiser. And then, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, we decided that maybe it'd be okay if we shared this, or a portion of this, with another nonprofit. So what we did was we lowered what we normally would bring in, that we would normally get from this event. And we lowered it to 10,000, and we said we can do with 10,000. And then everything above that, 50-50, we share. And I know people think, wow, that's a lot of money, but it really isn't. It is and it isn't. I don't want to minimize anything. But we raise this generally $1 at a time. Now you can vote more than once because it's the bad art election. So that's coming up in October, and you'll hear more about that. That's a real neat event for us. It's just fun time. The next thing I want to talk about is something we are getting a lot of questions about, and that's our Presents series. And we bring in shows in this series, nationally touring shows and nationally known people. And we've had to reschedule and reschedule and reschedule again, which puts us about in the place with every arts council. And right now we've rescheduled so much that, to be frank, we're confused about the dates. So it's natural that our ticket holders would be confused. So we want to go out and talk about what we've rescheduled, what we're relatively confident about unless something drastically changes. We had Big Bad Voodoo Daddy coming up in May, and we are going to have to reschedule that again, and I feel horrible that we have to do it, but the capacity limits are still at about 25%, and we just can't do it with that in the auditorium. So we are working to get a new date for that. We don't have that yet. You see, when we get a show, a lot of times we're part of a tour, which means there might be 4 or 5 other cities that this particular group is going to go visit. So when it has to be rescheduled, it's not just one organization that they're rescheduling for, it's 4 or 5. So it gets to be actually really challenging to pick a new date. And we are working very hard to get that new date. We'll get it to you as soon as possible. We had Sweet Caroline scheduled for June, and we are going to look at my sheet here, Sweet Caroline is now scheduled for April 24th, 2022. We are as confident as we can possibly be that that date's going to stay. We think that's a good date. I don't think we're going to have to change that one anymore. We have David Osmond and the Osmond Chapman Orchestra coming up August the 7th, 2021. And that one will not be held in Sidney. That one will be held in Bellefontaine at the Holland Theater. And as of right now, that one's looking okay. We'll know a little more if that's a solid date as the spring progresses and we see how the COVID numbers go. I think we got double fingers crossed, and if you could see my toes, they're crossed too. So we're hoping that we are out of the worst of this and we'll start to see some of these. September the 19th is now Restless Heart, and that is 2021. That's this coming September. We're very excited about that. Again, that's one we really think is we're going to stay. We think by fall we should be okay. And then Jefferson Starship will be November the 14th of 2021. We do have a December show that's a new show, but I'm not going to announce that just quite yet. That's kind of a surprise. And that, again, we think the December date will hold. So we want to thank all of our patrons and our season ticket holders because they have been enormously patient while we reschedule, and reschedule again. And the neat thing is we've been able to keep this season intact. It just has been on different dates. And we still, at this point, have the season intact. So those of you who have bought tickets, those tickets will still be honored at the shows. If you haven't bought tickets, they are for sale. And we have maybe 150, 200 tickets left. So we don't have a huge amount left. So if you're interested, you can get on our website and get under the Present series, and you'll see the new dates and you'll see a PayPal button so that you can purchase those tickets, or you can call here at the Arts Council, and that number is 937-498-2787. Unfortunately, the next thing we're going to talk about is our COSI for kids, and we did have to cancel that. COSI, unfortunately, through the pandemic, has had to lay off a number of people. And what they said to us was that they don't think that they will have the touring part of their program back up for maybe a year or two. So that one had to be canceled. We have looked into scheduling our children's series, but right now none of our vendors are scheduling yet. So that's kind of a stay tuned. We're trying to get that all figured out, but until they open up, we just don't know which show it's going to be and what dates you're going to see. But we do know we're going to have Princess Ball, and we do know that we're going to do Art in the Park, and that's in June. Now, if you're interested in that, you have to go through the city of Sidney because we do it for them. We host it for them, so they're responsible to have the kids sign up through them. It's 3 days. It's 22, 23, 24. And we normally run from 10 to 11:30 in one of the parks in Sidney. So again, that's through the City of Sidney, Parks Department, Parks and Recreation. That's how you get at that. And we are hoping that 21, 22, we can do more, that we can return to normal. I can tell you that come August, we will be scheduling a exhibit in the gallery for every month again. We're going to go back to that. We're going to go back to small receptions so that we can get that part of it kind of chugging away again, and we don't have all those artists ready to release, but we're working to get a full schedule for next year. I'm kind of excited about it. There's some neat things we're planning, and I just want to thank all you guys for sticking with us. It's been a challenging year. I think the arts are really important. I mean, I guess that you can kind of tell that from all our interviews where we do this because we believe the arts add to my life, your life, the community life, and that we can't go without them in the community. They're just really that important, that they bring something to society that nothing else can. So that's why we are doing what we do, and we're trying to do as much as we can do, and we're hoping very soon to be totally up to full speed. So right now I'm going to invite Seth to move his chair over here, and we'll see how he does that. He's our tech guy, so we'll see how it works when you have to move from behind the camera to in front of the camera. And he's going to talk a little bit about how some of these things, Princess Ball and Spring Fling, are going to function with our Facebook page and our YouTube page and all those sort of things, so that you can make sure that you're part of them. So Seth?
Hi there. I just wanted to go over some more of the technical aspects of how Spring Fling and Princess Ball are going to be working. So we're going to start off with Spring Fling. Like Ellen said, that is going to be on April 16th. And I'm going to go over the virtual components of where you can find everything. The live stream will be primarily on Facebook Live, and that will roughly be starting around 7 p.m. If it gets pushed back, we'll put out a message, but around 7 o'clock is when we plan to be going live, barring any technical difficulties. Along with the Facebook Live, now the Facebook Live is just going to be for the award winners. That's just going to be for naming who is winning in their certain categories. We are going to be having a slideshow of all of the artists' works that is going to be on YouTube. We're going to have a slideshow with every single piece of work getting around 5 seconds, and we're just going to have some music laying underneath it with name and medium and the price of the artwork if you're interested in it, if it's for sale by the artist. So that will all be primarily on YouTube, where I'm hoping that we can split it up into the different categories. So watercolor has their own YouTube video, photography has their own YouTube video, etc., etc. That will be going on YouTube between 7 and 7:30 on April 16th. So then that way, after we watch the award winners on the Facebook Live, if you wish, you can go onto YouTube and watch the whole show. I'm planning on playing some music underneath it, so it's very enjoyable to watch. So that is also going to be April 16th on YouTube is the slideshow between 7 and 7:30. Facebook Live at 7 o'clock. The Padlet will also be going live at 7 o'clock on April 16th. We are still currently working on it, so for any artists who are submitting pieces, we are setting up the Padlet right now, but we can control when the Padlet is live and available to the public. So that will be available on April 16th at 7 o'clock also. So just going over the overview, and I'm going to put up something on the screen of all the important dates. April 16th, 7 p.m., Facebook Live, the award winners. The slideshow of all the works is going to be scheduled between 7 and 7:30 on YouTube, and the Padlet will be live on April 16th. And I haven't talked this over with Ellen yet, but maybe making that live at noon or something, or if we wish, we could do it a little later, or?
We can do it anytime from noon on.
Okay.
And I think it's real important for people to know that Padlet and YouTube will stay there.
Mm-hmm.
So unlike if it was in the gallery,
Yes.
and you would have 3 weeks, now it's there.
Yeah.
And you can come back and look at it, you can share it with your friends, it's a lot more permanent of an exhibit.
Absolutely, that's why I'm getting everything programmed to be on YouTube, so then that way it can stay there forever. So if you like something, you can just go back and rewatch the show. So the Padlet will be up on Thursday in the afternoon time. We will make a post on Facebook and Instagram of when that will go live. So regarding any messages that we have to send out about Spring Fling and all the virtual aspects of it, check out our Facebook, just Gateway Arts Council, and our Instagram. If you're not following us on Instagram, we do have an Instagram page. We do put everything that you see on Facebook is also on there. Just type in Gateway Arts Council. We haven't really updated our logo or picture on that. I should do that. You can see our logo profile picture on Instagram is a picture of the Gateway Art Council house. So I will probably change that so you can see it. So on Facebook you will see our logo. For Instagram you'll see the Gateway Arts Council house. And right now I'm going to put up on the screen a picture of our YouTube channel so you know what you're looking for. The YouTube channel is also just Gateway Arts Council, and our profile picture, you will see the logo Just click that and then go to videos, and then everything will be right there. And also on our YouTube channel, we have all these podcast videos, so you can check those out while you're there. For June 18th, for Princess Ball, this is where it gets a little confusing. The playlist for the virtual option is going to be a Spotify playlist. We cannot do it over Facebook Live due to copyright reasons because we don't want to get our channel taken down. So it's going to be a Spotify playlist that I will share on our Facebook, and then I will do the same thing for a PowerPoint presentation. I am currently working on it's going to be like a video that tries to match with the music. So when the music changes, a slideshow will change. So if everything goes okay, I am planning on just recording a Microsoft PowerPoint slideshow and putting that on YouTube. And you can watch the slideshow presentation and play the music simultaneously, so they are lined up to change along with it. So if you're watching it at home and you're dancing and having fun, it should all line up with the music just like it would be if you were there. And of course, like Ellen said, if anything has to change and we have to go to the virtual option, our Facebook and our Instagram, keep an eye on those, and that's where we will be announcing everything that may be changing. Hopefully not. For the playlist and PowerPoint presentation, or the video, the playlist and the video, I'm going to pin those to the top of our Facebook page so they are the easiest to find. If you have any problems finding those things, just either leave a comment or send us a Facebook message. That's the quickest way to get a hold of us, especially at an event. If anything goes wrong, you can get a hold of us because we can get those on our phones, so we can deal with them. Do not call the office because we're obviously not going to be here.
Right, and remember that always remember that right now there's two options.
Mm-hmm.
There's the in-person option where you go to Lehman and you go to the ball.
Absolutely.
And there's the virtual option, which is what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
And the other thing I probably should say, because we've had a lot of people ask, is that Ron and Nita's in Sidney does now have tickets.
Yes.
As do we, and you can order them online through our Facebook page, our website.
Yes, on our website, if you go to, I believe it is under Youth Series, and then scroll down a little bit, you will see Princess Ball, and a button on our website underneath Princess Ball that says buy your tickets, and select that and it'll send you directly to PayPal where you can purchase tickets, and obviously Ron and Nita's or here in the house.
And we will add a button that says virtual tickets. Not up there right now, but we'll do that. For those of you who just aren't real comfortable with the whole concept, and I understand it, of a physical event, and you'd rather do it virtual, we will have a button up there that says virtual. So we know that when you want the virtual event, that we have to prepare the bag for you and your daughters, and then you can pick it up. We'll arrange a time for you to pick it up, and then you'll have it for your evening.
Yes, of course. I think that about wraps everything up. Like I said, on the screen when you're watching this, I'm going to be putting up all the important dates, so if you want to take a screenshot, that's completely okay. And then I will also be putting up on Facebook and Instagram the important dates regarding Spring Fling right now, and then when we get a little closer, everything regarding Princess Ball, but especially right now regarding Spring Fling for dates and times of when everything's going to be available. I will put those on all of our social media platforms. And I think that about wraps it up. I'm going to send it back over to Ellen for a little bit of a closing.
Thanks, Seth. I really appreciated that. He can make a little more sense out of all the technology than I do. I understand it, but I'm not exactly the best at explaining it. And again, I want to thank you guys for patronizing us, for making sure you're at our events, helping us keep those events alive. Thank you for keeping the arts alive, because they are enormously important. And just being patient with this whole situation. When we all get through, we're going to have one big, huge celebration. I hope all of you are fine and healthy and well, and we'll see you at the next podcast. So for now, thank you, and we'll see you next time.